I've had my share of strange passengers, but nothing could have prepared me for the night I picked up Megan. It was late at night, and I was driving near the cemetery. I had a feeling that it would be a slow night, but then I saw her. She was standing by the side of the road, and she was the most beautiful woman I had ever seen. I stopped the cab and rolled down the window. "Need a ride?" I asked. She got in the cab, and we started driving. We started talking, and she told me about her life. She was charming, and I found myself hanging on her every word. As we drove, I noticed that she seemed to be getting more and more tired. Her eyes grew heavy, and she slumped in her seat. I asked her if she was okay, but she didn't answer. I thought that maybe she had fallen asleep, but then I realized that something was wrong. I looked in the rearview mirror, and she wasn't there. I panicked and pulled over to the side of the road. I got out of the cab and looked around, but there was no sign of her. That's when I noticed something strange. The seat where she had been sitting was covered in dirt and cobwebs. It was as if she had been dead for years. Suddenly, I heard a strange noise coming from the back of the cab. I turned around, and I saw her. It was Megan, but she wasn't the beautiful woman that I had picked up earlier. She was a decomposing, demonic version of herself. I was frozen with fear as she stared at me with her glowing eyes. She let out a blood-curdling scream, and then she disappeared. I got back in the cab and drove away as fast as I could. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched, and I could hear strange noises coming from the back of the cab. The next day, I went to the police to report what had happened. They didn't believe me, and I was mocked by my coworkers. However, things began to change when other cab drivers started seeing Megan too. A week had passed, and there were rumors of other drivers picking up a woman named Megan near the cemetery. They all reported seeing her, but she would disappear before they could drop her off. They described her as beautiful, charming, and with a haunting presence. It was then that I began to investigate Megan's story. It turned out that she had recently passed away after being struck by a taxi cab while coming out of the cemetery after her grandfather had passed away. I discovered that she had been buried in an unmarked grave near the cemetery, and that her spirit had been restless ever since. She was seeking revenge on the drivers that had hit her and anyone that she felt had wronged her. I decided to confront her spirit head-on. I went back to the cemetery, and I found her unmarked grave. I performed a cleansing ritual, hoping to release her spirit and bring her peace. The ritual worked, and I could feel a sense of peace in the air. I knew that Megan's spirit had finally found rest. Years have passed since that night, and I'm no longer a cab driver. However, the memory of Megan still haunts me. I sometimes wonder if her spirit still lingers near the cemetery, seeking revenge on those who wronged her. I can only hope that she has finally found peace, and that her spirit can rest easy knowing that justice has been served. As for me, the experience changed my perspective on the paranormal. I had always been skeptical of ghost stories, but after encountering Megan's spirit, I knew that there were things in this world that I could not explain. I began studying the paranormal and became a ghost hunter, traveling all over the world to investigate haunted locations and uncover the truth behind the supernatural. Through my work, I've encountered many restless spirits like Megan, seeking revenge or simply trying to find peace. I've learned to approach these spirits with respect and understanding, and to help them find the peace that they deserve. The memory of Megan still haunts me, but it has also taught me to never ignore the signs of the supernatural. I continue to investigate paranormal occurrences and share my findings with those who are curious. As for Megan, I hope that her spirit has finally found peace, and that she can rest easy knowing that justice has been served.